All right, so this should be a really quick and easy video on a repair of the link between the strut and the sway bar. And those are famous last words. We'll see if it actually is as easy as I think. But anyway, before that, I thought I'd just point out what I've done with the suspension so far. So I'm completely rebuilding the front suspension. I'm not doing a video on that because there's actually some really good videos up on YouTube. The one I'd recommend if you're looking for one is the channel Jason Explains Things. His video is on an older half ton, where this is a 92 3/4 ton Ram, but pretty much all the parts are the same. He does a great job, like he says, explaining things. He's got music, good editing. It's much more entertaining than what I do here. So I thought people could just watch that. I will point out a couple of things though that I ran into problems with in case it's helpful for you. But the main thing about this video will be just to see if I can make a quick and easy repair of this link. I'll show you that. So rebuilding these front suspensions is a pretty straightforward project. As long as you have some good documentation so you can get all of your torque wrench settings, so the service manual is good. If you watch a video like the one that I talked about here a second ago, you don't really need any specialty tools except for one that I'll show you here in a minute. In this case, what it takes to rebuild these includes replacing the bushings here, and on the bottom. In my case, I've got new shocks and springs, new ball joints, tie rods. Everything's all painted up. Also rebuilding the hubs. I've got the new races in there, got new brakes, calipers, brake pads, bearings. So pretty much, and everything's all painted and looking pretty. Pretty much everything is being replaced. The only kind of sketchy thing is removing and replacing the spring. Now, I used the method that you'll see in that video of putting the floor jack underneath. So the floor jack goes right on here, and put some pressure on it while you're knocking out with your pickle fork the ball joints, and that actually worked really well. So a floor jack under here, and then when you're putting the new spring in, using the floor jack to press and hold things in place while you tighten everything up to spec. Works really well. Now, as far as tools, you don't really need anything special, except for I needed a couple of things that I didn't have. So you need pickle forks. I've got my driver's set for the races. And I've got this. This is a very typical U-joint install remover. You can use it for bushings. It worked really well for the bushings here and the bushing down here. But it didn't work very well for the ball joint on the bottom, this ball joint here. No matter what I did, as I was trying to press it in, now it was on the bench and the vise when I was doing this, but as I was trying to press it in, it didn't matter which orientation I put the clamp in, I couldn't get the ball joint to go in straight. It always went in on an angle. So it might be because this kit that I've had for a long time. I bought it in 2016. You can get these on Amazon, Harbor Freight. I assume that they're all the same. I got it for a project on the Jaguar where I dropped the rear end out of the Jaguar and rebuilt that. That, by the way, if you have one of these vehicles, is a pretty fun and very satisfying project. The rear end in these are in a self-contained cage, and in the 90s they were used in hot rods quite a bit because they are self-contained, they can be shortened. Anyway, that was a fun job. But I've used this quite a bit since then, primarily on U-joints, so maybe it's not as stiff as it used to be, and it was just flexing as I was trying to press in the U-joint. Maybe the new ones are better than my old one, because if you look at Jason's video, this is what he used and it went in fine. Anyway, I gave up on it because I didn't feel good about it going in on such an angle. I've got a friend who owns a pretty large machine shop, and he very kindly offered to help me. We went in and used his large hydraulic press and pressed it in, and that made quick work of it. I've thought about buying one of those Harbor Freight presses, but for the amount of time I use it, for the amount of space that it's going to take up in the garage, I don't know. I'd have to get a lot of use out of it because there's always limited space in the garage for that type of thing. Okay, so that was one thing that didn't quite work out for me the way that I wanted. The other thing that didn't work out the way that I was hoping was getting the top ball joint out. The top ball joint on these actually screws out, does not press out, and it's pretty easy to find these. Again, I think I bought this on Amazon. You've got the 2 9/64 socket. It's got a unique shape on the inside, fits on really nicely. And before I took the arm off the truck, I worked on removing this so that it would be supported in the truck here. And my Aircat 1150 was not powerful enough to budget. I don't know, this must be 3 foot long, 3/4 inch breaker bar, couldn't budget. So again, I asked same person that helped me with the bottom ball joint if he had a just really powerful impact that I could borrow. He had a 3/4 inch impact. I took a picture of it in case I ever want to buy one in the future. It did a great job. It had no problem getting this ball joint out. So I'll post that picture of his on the video here, and then that came out. Okay, so back to what we're doing today. So pretty much everything is available for these. You can get all the tie rods, all the parts, all the rubber parts. One thing that you can't find though is, now let's look at this. You got the sway bar and the strut above it here, and there's a link between the two. This rubber piece here is not available, but I've got an idea of what I'm going to do, and I'll actually show that in the video here. The bottom pieces, they're easy to find just about anywhere, so those are easy to find. That all seemed good, and I'm putting stuff back together when I see this on the other side. So this guy here is broken off on the end. It's supposed to, the threaded part is supposed to be quite a bit longer. And so whoever previously put it together had actually just cut one of the rubber bushings down short enough so they could get their nut on the bottom, and which I guess I could do, but I thought, oh, let me just see if I can fix it. At first I thought I'd just go online and buy replacements, because that'd be my preference, but I could not find them. If you know of any replacements, or if there is something that you can use that from a different application that works here. Let me know that as well, maybe down in the comments. But I couldn't find it. I'll put the part number up on the screen here so you can see what the Dodge part number is. But I thought, you know what, it shouldn't be that hard to repair it. So that is what this video is supposed to be. We'll see how it works out, but just repairing this piece right here. So I've removed the bolt out of it, and I started spreading it apart with this little pry bar. I was a little worried that I was going to damage something here. So I got this that I used to separate the calipers before I put in new brakes. I'm gonna see if maybe I can separate it with this just to minimize the amount of damage and bending that occurs since I'm gonna try and reuse it. So for the piece that I cut off of here, the threads are 5/16, but the shaft is 3/8. So I just decided to get a 3/8 bolt so that the shaft here would be right. And in fact, that does go through here perfectly with no slop on it. So the nut on this end is going to be a different size, which is fine for the one that I'm going to be repairing. So we will use this bolt. So I was planning just to weld this on here and call it a day. Even if the welds aren't perfect and this breaks off, it isn't the end of the world. It's holding the end of one of the ends of the sway bar on, and so nothing catastrophic would happen. But you know, I thought, hey, in the name of science, why don't I try to see how strong my welds are going to be. It also helped me get the settings right on the welder. So I've got an extra bolt. I'm going to cut the head off of this one and do some messing around with different things just to see, and then test how strong the weld is. Yeah, we'll go from there. So to test this out, I'm going to try and weld this other nut that I cut the head off of, and then you saw me kind of put a point on the end there to this plate, which should simulate what I'm going to try and do with the part I'm trying to build. I've got this Harbor Freight Vulcan welder. The point here is like 1/4 inch, so we're just going to start out with it at 1/4 inch, see how it sounds. I've got 0.30 wire, and yeah, see how it works. Well, it sounded pretty good. Let's just go around the rest of it. Well, big pile out there. Let's see if it works. All right, let's see how much punishment this can take. So this is a grade 8 bolt. It's cooled down now. Let's see if it just breaks off or if it'll take a little bit of... Well, that's good. You know what? I'm bending the grade 8 bolt. I think we are absolutely... Yeah, we're good. There's no way that the truck bouncing around is gonna do any more than that. Plus, I don't know if you can see in the video, but I can see that if I come up a little bit further with my weld, it'll be even stronger because I didn't go up high enough. Oh, there is one thing I want to try. I'm going to be grinding it down to make it easier for the cup to go on. And I might have loosened it or weakened it a little bit, but I'm going to grind it down when I do the final one so the cup can go down further. I'm also going to open up this hole more so it'll go over. But just out of curiosity, I'm going to grind that and see how much weaker it gets. So I pretty aggressively ground it down here, and in fact it is thinner here than the bolt itself, and so I'll make sure not to do that on the actual bolt. But it's getting to a point where if I just open up this hole a little bit more, I think this could go pretty much flush. So that would be the goal there. So let's see if this will take any abuse. Well, it's bending the other way. Yeah, I think we're good. We broke the actual bolt and not the weld. That's pretty good. Okay, I feel pretty good about that. That's not going to go anywhere. That sounded a little hot. I think I'm going to turn it down just a smidge. But yeah, we'll do the rest now that we've got it tacked on. I think that's good. So I tried looking for some sway bar bushings that had a 7/8 or 22mm hole. And I found this Moog part, which is K90559, which is 7/8. And it looks like the dimensions are going to be right. So we're going to try it on the side that I haven't been working on, try to get that replaced and see if see how it works. Nice. Yep, so that is the right size. Cool. All right. I'll tighten this one up and put the other side on. All right, let's put the newly repaired one on. So here's our new bushing. let's see if it's open enough. Yep, I think it will be. Just scoot it on. Oh, perfect. Okay. Oh, that was almost too easy. All right, let's try it now. Okay, so that's on nicely. Nice. Okay, this bottom one here is supposed to be at 100 inch-pounds. So let me go get a socket for that. There you go. Yep. Okay. That's it. That's 100. So now I just need to put this back on and we are good to go. So that is solid. There is no, even though this isn't connected, there's no movement in this at all. And that's repaired. Done.